Oh, now they call me, I seen them. All of those signs getting severed. I told them all I get let up. They get not tired of me never. Give me a shot and I swear I shoot like Berettas.
Hey, welcome into the Big Dog Show. That's the Big Dog, my guy Marcedes Lewis. I'm David Kaplan. Everybody calls me Cap. Marcedes, you ready, Big Dog?
Yeah, man, let's get this thing rolling.
Yeah, it's exciting to be working with you all season long. And here you are in your 19th year in the National Football League. We kick it off on Sunday. What's your emotions? 19 seasons is crazy, right?
Yeah, you know, I mean, it never gets old for me. I look at it kind of like in levels, and this is just a 19 level. You know, I've been through a lot. It's definitely made me a better person, but obviously a better football player. And I'm just looking forward to getting started.
So as you look at this team and you know this city, they're so starved. Like, do we have a quarterback? Do we have a winning team? And it's been such a long time. Take me inside the locker room and tell everybody what you feel about this team.
Well, for one thing I noticed right away is just how competitive we are. Obviously, we have so much talent now at every position. I think as far as depth, it's the best we've been in a while. But how competitive we are, and whether it's on the football field, in the film room, in meetings, in the cafeteria, we're always competing, right? And I think going into every game this year, we have expectations of experiencing victory. And I think last year it was kind of like a surprise when we made good plays, or we were able to, win some games last year. So I think what's going to be big for us is just managing our emotions and our expectations, right? We're going to come out, the first quarter of the season, everybody is kind of excited. Obviously, Caleb is here, Rome, we got Keenan Allen, Hard Knocks, everybody's checking us out. So there'll be some excitement towards the team, but I think we're going to surprise some people in the first quarter of the season. And then obviously the second quarter of the season, everybody's going to have some film on us, and they're going to understand that, we're here to play. And I think that's where managing those emotions and those expectations come into play, and having a standard. And so we're just doing that every single day. We look forward to getting out there and playing our best ball on Sundays.
So you're doing this with me and with us here at the Recap all season long. Why did you want to do a show? Because it's a super cool format where you get to take it wherever you want it to be. It's the Big Dog Show. You're the Big Dog.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm not gonna bullshit you. I mean, it's been at least 6 or 7 different opportunities that I passed up on just because I think I just wasn't at a place in my life to really take it on or really give it my undivided. And I think, you caught me at the right time, and I'm super excited about the opportunity. Obviously, going into my 19th season now, and, why not? I figure why not? And so far, so good. It's been a pleasure putting this thing together. And, obviously, I'm just in gratitude and appreciative of the moment, and look forward to bringing all the hottest content and exclusive energy to the fans. So let's get it rolling.
So we'll talk about your teammates in a second. The other day, the news crosses that the Bears have elected 8 team captains, and one of those is you. What is that like? 19th season, you've been a captain before. Everywhere you go, from Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers said, best teammate I've ever had is my guy Marcedes Lewis. People in Chicago, when we thought about doing this show, I asked Ryan Poles. He said, Marcedes Lewis would be amazing. That guy is the best. Tyson Bagent says, the most important guy in our locker room is you. And then you get named captain. So what is that like?
I mean, I think it's, obviously it's an honor, right? Like at least me, when I go into something, it's not for what somebody can do for me. It's always, I'm the one that's like ready to serve and be my personal best when I'm called upon. And I don't do it for what I may get out of it. I just do it and I work hard because I feel like that's what I'm supposed to do, right? And so when you get voted as a team captain in a situation where it's not like I was drafted here, right? It's not like I played for the organization for 4 or 5 years. To know that I'm able and I have made an impact on not just my teammates but my coaches is huge, and I take that very seriously. And I'll continue to do the best I can to help lead this team. And yeah, I mean it's really cool. I'm really grateful.
Yeah, super cool. When it crossed, I went, that's our guy right there. Team captain again. You're watching The Big Dog Show. He's Marcedes Lewis. I'm David Kaplan. It's brought to you by our great partners at ChevyDriveChicago.com and Anken Law 312-6million. You mentioned Caleb is here, so let's talk about the elephant in the room. The Bears have the number 1 pick, not because the team was so bad, because Ryan Poles made an amazing trade, and they were able to pick who everyone says is the generational quarterback. Rick Spielman, the former GM of the Vikings, said, that's the best, most ready prospect I've studied in 20 years. What have you seen from this kid that makes you think he's ready for this moment?
Well, we can start just from a mental aspect. I think that there's not too much for him. Like, the moment is not too big for him. I think that he does a really good job of not necessarily, how can I put this? He listens more than he talks, right? Like, and for rookies, for me, that's how I was. I mean, I got drafted first round, obviously not the first pick, but I got drafted in the first round. And you kind of want to come in with the right attitude, attached to some veterans that are doing it the right way, and hope that they take you under their wing, in which I was grateful. It was Fred Taylor and Kyle Brady. Both of those guys took me under their wing and kind of molded me into the pro that I am today. And I think Caleb is kind of like flowing along in that same mindset. And yeah, man. So from a mental standpoint, is as advertised. He's that guy, right? And then if we're just talking about physically and how talented he is, I mean, there's been at least 5 or 6 throws that he's made during training camp. And mind you, the kid, every time he rips the ball, I mean, it's just different, right? And you know what it's like when you're there, because you know what getting better looks like if you've been with, quarterbacks that aren't as talented. And he is, I mean, the guy that I was with 3 years ago.
He's on your wall right behind you.
Yeah,
we'll get into that in a second.
Yeah, the guy that I was with 3 years ago and is a really good friend of mine. We have conversations about it all the time. And, he likes Caleb and wants him to do well. He reminds me of Aaron Rodgers. And just the off-platform throws and off one leg, sprint towards the sideline, twisting his body to throw it a certain way. Sometimes he's jumping, making jump passes and darts down the field. I mean, it's going to be exciting this year. And I think, that's what's motivating everybody to get up out the bed and bring their best, because we got to protect this guy.
Okay, so I was raised, my late dad said we don't like the St. Louis Cardinals because I'm a Cubs fan. We don't like Notre Dame football. Sorry, Cole Kmet, because he's coming on as your guest here in a little bit. And we don't ever root for the Green Bay Packers. You played there, and now you're here. Tell me about the rivalry, and tell me about 12, because I'm going to tell you something. I love that dude, and people in Chicago get mad at me. How can you be a fan of him? There's something about that dude that I like.
Well, so from a rivalry, I mean, the Packers do not like the Bears. Obviously, everybody knows that. And 12 kind of took it upon himself to say, we own them. Like this, I'm part owner in the Bears, And so that was like a big, he stirred some stuff up over the last few years we were there. And obviously being on this side of the ball now, it's the exact same on this side of the ball, right? Like, it's important that we go out there, especially this year. I think, we have what it takes to go out there and handle business. And, without saying too much, I think, you might as well mark those games on your calendar because we're biting at the bit for it, right? I think we start division play. I want to say
No, I think
third
it's
quarter of
November.
the season is kind of
Yeah.
it's kind of towards the end, and so that'll be good. We'll have a good 8 to 9 games under our belt. We'll already establish who we are, our style of play, and so there'll be no excuses. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. But yeah, man, it's definitely a rivalry that I enjoy being a part of. It's definitely obviously different being on the other side of it, but I enjoy it just the same.
So okay, his picture's right behind you, right? Is he back there? Is there yeah. Okay, tell me what 12 is like. Because again, I like him, and that's not a popular thing to say in Chicago, but I like guys who are not afraid to say what they think. It may be bullshit. It may be nuts. You may go, that's really effed up, man. You think that. What is he like as a dude?
Well, you just said it right there. He's a dude, right? Like there's a difference between guys and dudes, and he's definitely a dude. And whether you want to believe it or not, I mean, in the profession that we're in, a lot of your value is based on how you come to work and how you prepare and how you go about your business on the football field. And you know, from that standpoint, him and I and obviously Devontae were really close when we were all together, and it was really one of those things that we came to work with the same mindset and we led in the same way, and so that's what kind of like drove us closer and understood that we were all part of the same, like a common thread. And over the past like 4 or 5 years that I've gotten to know him, I mean, he's just very black and white, says how he feels, very articulate with how he communicates. And he's always in the moment. Aaron doesn't really think about the past or too much into the present. Too much into the future. He's always in the moment. And, that's something that, we both share. And it's kind of hard to explain. I mean, it's if you're a guy that is scrutinized as much as he is and, had opportunities to, he's won MVPs, he's won a Super Bowl. Obviously, we've been to the playoffs, and he was in the playoffs before I even got there. He's experienced a lot, right? And got a lot of stuff from the outside. And so a lot of people from the outside that don't really know him, they're going to form their opinions anyway because that's what they get paid to do. They have to, right? But as a person, I think he does a good job of managing, like I was saying before earlier, his emotions. And, I'm grateful that he's in my life. He's a good friend of mine that I know I can call and lean on and vice versa.
How much is the whole I own you when he went in the end zone and he's giving the discount double check? I own you. I fucking own you. That's really him, right? He loved it.
That's him. And that's like that's a chill version too.
Uh-huh.
Like he's super competitive. Like, mind you, off the field, he's like chill, goofy, sarcastic, whatever. On the field, it's a different dude. Like watching him from afar when I was in Jacksonville all those years, and the last time I played against him before I ended up on the Packers was I think 2016 maybe or something like that. And the game was pretty close. I feel like at one point we were up, and then towards the end of the game, he throws a last minute touchdown to Devontae to end up winning the game. And we laugh about that now, but he was like, yo, like I've watched you from afar. Like I've always been a fan. I'm like, yo, chill out. And we end up going back and forth about like just how, we admire each other's game. And he's just a different cat, man. It's hard to explain. He's one of a kind for sure.
In terms of looking at this team, the Bears, and you go back through, because in the 80s, I'm watching the Bears win the Super Bowl, and they're dominating Green Bay. I mean, every year. Kevin Butler, 53-yard field goal at the gun at Lambeau.
Yeah.
Good. And I mean, we're never going to lose to that team. And then all of a sudden, the 90s happen. Favre to Rodgers, and we're running 40 quarterbacks out there. Like, can it turn? Can we? They're good.
I mean, I think you just said it, right? Favre, Aaron Rodgers, that's 30 years of excellence, right?
Insane.
So, like, literally take a back seat, okay?
Right.
And then they have another guy, right, that was under the tutelage of Aaron Rodgers, how Aaron Rodgers was to Favre. And you can tell that he's starting to come on. He has a good grasp of what's going on, and a lot of what he's learned from a signal standpoint, the moxie, the type of throws, understanding what he's really good at. You know, he got to watch A-Rod do it. And like my last year there, I remember looking at Matt LaFleur and I'm like, yo, he's starting to figure it out. You know what I mean? Like, I want to say that last year I was there, A-Rod had like a toe, some other things that would keep him out during the week for a day or two. And A-Rod would be like, yo, let the young cat get some reps, right? And you could just tell his confidence building. And so I think they've been very fortunate, right? And they've drafted at that position very well, to where there's not big drop off, right? When Favre left, obviously Aaron stepped in. Now Aaron's gone, and then now Jordan Love is stepping in, and the drop off is not really crazy, right? Like the offense still runs as if they had a dude back there calling the plays. So, yeah, man, it's gonna be interesting. I'm hyped for it. Obviously, a lot of those guys over there are still really good friends of mine, and it feels weird going against them. But hey, I'm a Bear. I'm excited to be a Bear. I wouldn't have it no other way, and I'm just looking forward to getting this thing going.
Did you watch the Hard Knocks episodes, and what were they intrusive? Were they a problem, or you thought it was super cool?
I watched a couple of the episodes. I thought the production was great. Very much so intrusive. You get to the building, they're right there. No matter where you are, there's sometimes you're having a conversation with your boy. There's the mic right over your head. Like it's definitely like a different experience. But it was fun. I think we had fun with it. I think it brought out another level of competition between guys, and that was great for camp. And then obviously you saw in the preseason. I mean, obviously it's just a preseason, but still we're still playing games and running real plays, and we're 4-0 in the preseason, right? Like that doesn't just happen. Like you have to do some things right for that to happen, regardless of who's in the game running the plays, right? Like it's the systems, and I think the coaches have done a really good job so far, during the offseason, and, getting their systems in. Everybody's catching on, just attention to detail. It's been an exciting experience so far.
Coming to play 19 years. When did you start playing football? And when you got drafted out of UCLA, did you, man, I hope I make it a year. I hope I make it 2 years. Dan Hampton, who's in the Hall of Fame, said, dude, Buddy Ryan told me they were cutting me in camp. He was the 4th pick overall. He said, and that's how fucking stupid I was. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to get cut. He wouldn't call him by his name. He'd only call him 99. He goes, 99, we're going to cut your ass. Wow. And he's like, now that sounds stupid. How long did you think you were going to play at the start?
Okay, so when I got drafted, I think 10 years I was like, okay, that's a great career. Like if I can get to 10 double digits, like chef's kiss, right?
Right.
I got to 10 years. I'm like, man, like my body still feels really good. And why not keep rolling, And then Jacksonville signed me to a 3-year contract. I played 2 years on that. And then I was like, man, I still feel really good, right?
Let's keep going. And
then my 13th year, that's when, Jacksonville released me, which was kind of weird. I found out on ESPN. It was a bad situation, but I contemplated on retiring after year 12, actually. And then A-Rod called me. We talked on the phone for a little while. And then my agent hit me up and was like, hey, Green Bay's blowing up my phone. Like, what do you think about going to Green Bay? And initially, before I even talked to Aaron, it was like, I don't know, man. I don't know if I want to be playing in the snow. Like, I'm 12 years in. I'm good. Like, I don't. And then literally Aaron and I had that conversation. That was a time when Jimmy Graham was going there as well, good friend of mine. And I was like, man, fuck it, let's get it. And so I was on a plane at like 6 a.m. to Green Bay.
Wow.
And literally reinvigorated my love and my passion again for the game. And you bring in Matt LaFleur, Nate Hackett, who was with me in Jacksonville, understood the way I play the game, how to use me. Like it was just a match made. It was a match made, and I'm definitely grateful for those 5 years, not just in my career but in my life. I learned a lot about myself because I thought I would retire in Jacksonville. I thought that was going to be
that's it.
Yeah, I thought that was going to be 20 years in Jacksonville, just loyal. You know what I mean? Just doing my thing, head down, grinding through the good times and the bad times. And it was just like, nah, we're going to pick up his option, and then we're going to cut him, but then we're not going to tell him. He's going to find out on ESPN.
Oh, God.
And then I'm going to look at my phone and then see my agent. It's like 15 missed calls. I'm like, it was a lot that I was going through mentally. It was a conversation that I had with my mom when I was just like, man, I'm over this. Because that was my first time like experiencing the business of the NFL personally, right? I was like, man, this is whack. Like, I'm good. Like, if my family's good, like, I don't need to do this no more. And my mom was like, boy, if you don't be quiet. She was like, do you feel still like you can help a team win? I was like, yeah. She's like, what do you talk about then? She was like, just go, keep training, do your thing. I'm pretty sure you'll get some calls. This is my mom. I'm pretty sure you'll get some calls here soon.
Love it. Love it.
She's like, you got good film. You can't deny the film. And I'm just like, you know what, Mom? You're right.
Fucking A-Rod, you're right.
A-Rod hit me up, and then the rest is history. I was able to continue to live out my dream that I had set forth a long, long, long time ago. And had it not been for that, there would be no me sitting right here in front of this mic talking to you. So everything happens for a reason. The universe has its way, and here we are.
All right. Let's welcome in your guest, your first guest on your show. It's your teammate, fellow tight end, Notre Damer, big Cubs fan, Chicago guy, Cole Kmet.
My guy.
Joining us on the Big Dog Show.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. This is awesome. Me and Marcedes obviously have grown super close over this past year, so anything I can do to help. And I'm glad to see guys really across the league, doing stuff like this. I think it helps engage with the fan base really well. Obviously, I'm doing a thing of my own as well, but no, it's really cool. So I'm glad to be here for sure.
No doubt, man. Appreciate you being on, brother. I know I just seen you about 3 hours ago, but
oh my God,
I appreciate you, man. Friday is normally our day to kind of decompress. We get home a little earlier, take care of our body, have a little date night with the missus if that's what you want to do. So I appreciate you taking time out of your night, man.
Dude, absolutely. Anything for you.
Thank you, brother.
So, Cole, talk to us about your perspective where this team is, because Chicago's so starved for a winner. Marcedes spends 5 years in Green Bay beating our ass. Where is your perspective where this version of the Bears are?
Well, for me, this is the most talented team I've been a part of since I've came in the league. Obviously for me, going back now 5 years ago, it's been a long road coming. I've seen quite a few coaching changes offensively. But, you look at the talent that we have, and I'm more so speaking for the offensive side of the ball right now. We got depth everywhere. You look at our position group specifically, we got guys that can kind of do it all. Obviously, Marcedes has been around for a long time. And, you look at the receiving core. I mean, we were struggling to have this type of depth at receiver. You look at the guys that are kind of the 4s and 5s, and you look at those guys, you're like, these dudes would be starting on some other teams across the league. So that's really cool to see guys like DeAndre Carter, who's been around the league for a little bit. So you get guys like that. And then offensively, up front on the offensive line, really athletic up front. So you got a lot of smart dudes, a lot of young guys. Obviously, looking for Darnell, Braxton, and Tevin and those guys take a big step up, and then adding a guy like Coleman, who's been great at center, super smart, really intelligent, good communicator at the line of scrimmage. And then the backfield, you got guys from DeAndre to Khalil, who's a good 1-2 punch there, and then having Kari in the fullback to bring some physicality as well. So just a lot of depth overall offensively, and then defense. You got a lot of guys coming back from last year, and we were able to add some guys as well, like KB and a few others. So I know that group wants to take another step forward and be the best in the league at what they do, and I'm excited about where it's at, man. And then not to disregard special teams. We've been watching Tory Taylor punt at practice. Holy cow, this guy's got every iron in the book. It's crazy. It's crazy, man. It's unbelievable. I mean, usually we should be doing drills during the special teams period, and even the coaches get caught looking at him punt because it's really amazing to watch. So hopefully you get to see some good stuff from him this weekend as well. But I'm really excited just about the overall depth of the team that we got right now. And, Ryan's done a good job of building this thing up so that not only for that it's set up to do really well this year, but to continue to grow and do well for years to come.
All you, Marcedes.
Yeah, man. I mean, I feel like just to piggyback on what Cole said, obviously he knows more about what getting better looks like from his standpoint than I would from being here, because he was here when it wasn't really that well, right? Like things weren't going good. And I just feel like, as far as like speaking to the depth, I just feel like how I said earlier, like we have whatever you wanted, we have it. And I think, the head man is doing a really good job of putting guys in positions to make plays. And it feels good breaking the huddle knowing that at any given point, somebody can take it to the house. And we've been, super, super excited this whole entire time to unleash it on somebody else. And Sunday we get to do that.
So, Cole, I was telling Marcedes a great story. So your first, I think, 5 games, you had 3 total targets in the National Football League.
Wow.
I'm driving in to host the Bears pregame with Olin Kreutz and Alex Brown and Lance Briggs at NBC Sports Chicago. And I'm in the car and I have Sirius NFL radio on Sunday morning, cruising in. And they said, we caught up with Coach Matt Nagy earlier this week. And they play the interview and they ask about you. And he said, we got to get him involved. So I'll let you guys in on a secret. We're going to try and get Cole involved today in the red zone. I get to work. This is a true story now. I get to work and I pull up my phone. I go on my gambling app and I'm like, he's fucking 90-1 to score.
Oh, I love this. This is great.
90-1 and 23.5-1 to score an anytime touchdown. I go on my little app. I go, give me 150 on him at 90-1.
Oh,
wow.
And give me another 200 at 23-1. And I hit send. And a couple of the producers there are like, we're going to play it. And then there you are in the red zone. And when you caught it, correct me if I'm wrong, you caught it, you kind of cradled it, and you fell to the ground, and we couldn't see. And Alex Brown turns around to me, goes, that's fucking Cole Kmet. Oh, my God. I didn't get it. And I said, I did.
Oh, there's a funny story to that. That's the Carolina player talking about.
Yeah.
In Carolina. It was funny. We were running that play during that week, and there was actually a check and alert to it. So we had 2 plays at the line of scrimmage. So you had the primary play, and then if they gave a certain look, we would check to the secondary play. So Nick Foles was the quarterback, and we're in there. It's a 3rd down play, and he gives the alert check. And when he gave the alert check, I was the only receiver going on routes that actually got it. Wow. So Allen Robinson and Anthony Miller were running the original play still. So we had 3 in-breakers going in towards the goal line. So not what you want. So you had 3 guys going in at the same spot. You always want to create triangles in an offense. So you don't want to have 3 guys at one point because that's usually bad business. But anyway, I run my route correctly. I think Nick Foles looks for A-Rob to throw A-Rob the route, but he's not running the right route. And then he just throws off his back foot and throws it up to me. And I came down with a catch. And it was a really cool moment. But there's a few people that have told me stories just like that, where the odds were placed like that. And I hit big. So definitely glad I could win people some money there.
That's my cool. God, 90-1. It was like, holy shit.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome.
You never got those odds again, by the way.
They haven't been up to that.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure they'll never be close again.
Exactly
90-1. Wow, that's awesome. That's great.
That's cool, man. I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty sure at some point when I was your age, it was probably similar situations because when I first got to Jacksonville, run first team, play action pass, not the kind of offense you want to walk into if you're used to catching touchdowns and won the Mackey Award that year. I thought I was going to just go in the league and have the same type of success, and it just didn't work out that way. And then I feel like maybe towards my fourth year when we got Dirk Cutter is when it really started to take off for me. It was a lot of a lot of Aggie, a lot of wide shallow cross, just a bunch of stuff to give me the ball. He had me on option routes, doing all type of stuff. And so, I think, as far as those type of odds and what Cole has been doing at camp this year, I don't ever see that happening again.
It's funny that you talk about. I know we were talking about the other day, like now when you were in your fourth year, how you felt like there was an uptick in all that stuff. Just how hard the position is to play, and I know we were talking about. Bates, who just went over he's going to be playing Monday Night Football against the 49ers here after he got, waived by us and then picked up by them. But just how hard it is to make that transition so quickly from college to pro. And I think, you look at the positions across the league and, ours has got to be one of the toughest in terms of, transferring your skill set from the college game to the pro game. And, you really aren't fully ready to go, I think, until that end of year 3, year 4, where you really can match that physicality of the defensive ends and, learn how to get open, versus these sticky nickels and sticky safeties. So, it's interesting when you say that. I know Jimmy had said that when he was playing. When you really see that ascension and really take off, and it just takes some time though sometimes for some guys. And I know our position, I think, is one of the hardest.
Yeah, I mean, to your point, you got to think about it. I mean, you have the physical part of it, right? Being in the trenches, doing all that. That's one aspect. And then learning how to run routes in the NFL, right? And you're not going to get open like how you did in high school and college.
Absolutely
it's not the same game. And so when you have a guy beat by a half a step, that's open, right?
Yeah.
And obviously when you're 6'6" and 265 pounds, like me and Cole, we think we're open all the time, right? So it's just different, man. And like most times you're gonna pick up on one thing faster than another. Sometimes it's like, okay, this run game, I'm really onto this run game. Like I'm better here, but I'm not as good as I want to be in the pass game. Or I'm really good in the pass game. I'm getting open, I'm doing my thing, but the run game, I'm still getting my shit pushed in. You know what I mean? So to absolutely be the best at what you're doing, and I talk to Cole about it all the time, is focusing on being the best all-around tight end that you could be. That way you're always sharpening your tools and can't nobody box you in, right? I'm going into my 19th year, not because I'm a nice guy. You get what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, right.
I'm going into my 19 years because front offices have a hard time cutting me, right? Because I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing and still competing at a high level. And in my mind, like, I control that. I dictate that. Like, whoever's in front of me, good luck to you. Like, you don't dictate what's about to happen to you. I'm doing that. And so when you turn on the film, it's just like, yeah, I know he's 40, but he's still doing the exact same shit he was doing years ago. And I think it's really cool. It's obviously a lot of hard work, but when you have guys like Cole in your room where you feel accountable to continue not only being your personal best, but to show him the way and pay it forward, I wouldn't have it any other way.
So, Cole, got to ask you a question. Why does Notre Dame not join a conference? First of all, you're looking at a guy who always hated Notre Dame football because of the fan base. You probably heard me on the air before say that. Why is it that people look at them and go, oh, the holier than thou Notre Dame Fighting Irish football team, not the other sports?
Well, Cap, I'll tell you this. I grew up hating Notre Dame. I don't know if you knew that.
No.
So both my parents went to Purdue.
Yep.
So I was not a Notre Dame guy whatsoever. Whenever they'd play that game, Purdue, Notre Dame, I mean, we were rooting hard for Purdue. So
Wow.
I was a big Purdue fan, man. And, not that Purdue's any sort of prolific football program, but we definitely hated Notre Dame growing up. And then I started getting offers in high school and, sure enough, finally got the Notre Dame offer. And being in Chicago, obviously that's a big ticket
deal.
item there. That's a big ticket item. So
Yeah.
I took the visit. And we were on the visit, and my dad didn't like Notre Dame either. And we were on the visit, and it was a beautiful day, and it was an unbelievable campus tour. And, the vibe was right. And my dad kind of looked at me and was like, damn it, this place is special. I think he's like, you need to go here. And so then when I was letting the club, I'm in the club now, and I love it. But going to the conference deal, we're making money, man. We don't want a revenue share with everyone else in the other conferences. I mean, isn't that how it works? Ohio State's got to share revenue with Rutgers and, all the other lower tier football programs of that conference. Whereas, Notre Dame, we got our own TV deal and, we keep the money for ourselves. So I think that's smart on their end. And honestly, I think it works favors for the playoff that they have scheduled. I know everyone's like, well, they don't get the bye. But the teams that are getting the bye got to play a conference championship, and Notre Dame doesn't have to do that. So they can take care of their schedule, play that first round, and have a home game for that first round of playoffs. So I think it works well for them. And if you look into it, there's a reason it's structured that way because the former AD of Notre Dame, Jack Swarbrick, was the one that kind of helped sculpt the new college football playoff. So it works well in Notre Dame's favor, I think.
But like big dog school, UCLA, you're in the Big Ten now, which is so weird.
Ridiculous. It's crazy.
Ridiculous. But like their schedule, they're going to get the Ohio States and the Michigans and the Oregons and the USC. I'm looking at Notre Dame's schedule. Okay, you beat Texas A&M. They're okay. You get And I coached there. I was the basketball coach at Northern Illinois for 4 years, but you get the Huskies at your place this week.
Hey,
you go to Purdue, Miami of Ohio, home against Louisville, Stanford at home, Georgia Tech, home against Navy, home against Florida State, home against Virginia, home against Army, and at USC. You guys don't play anybody.
Oh, come on. Well, when these schedules are made way in advance here. They're not made like in terms of like last offseason. So,
Right.
I mean, when you're scheduling these games, you're thinking Florida State's going to be a powerhouse. Stanford's traditionally been a very good football program. USC is always very good now with Lincoln Riley. Louisville, when this game was scheduled, they were a top 15 team year in and year out, when Lamar was there. So they were an up and coming football program. So there were games on the schedule, but look, we don't have to go over the Northern Illinois and those of the world, but it works out favorably for us this year. That's for sure.
In terms of, you just got engaged. Is that right?
I did. Yeah, I did.
So how do you propose?
So it was great. I took her to Lake Colonial and Lake Forest.
Great spot.
Yeah, it was great. So I took her outside of the Parrot Bar, which is just right along the street there. And her favorite martini is the lychee martini at Lake Colonial. So we sat down at the bar. She opened up the cocktail menu, and on it read, "Emily, will you marry me?" So
oh, that's spectacular.
yeah, it was great. So we did that, and she was very surprised, and she wanted to call her parents and all that stuff. And I was like, hold on, we're meeting your parents and my parents for dinner nearby. So she said, "Oh, so we're not staying at Lake Colonial?" I'm like, no, we're just here for the drink, and then we're gonna go get dinner with them. So she's like, "All right." So we get in the car, we drive over, and there was a spot in Highland Park where I set up a surprise engagement party for her. So all of her friends, my friends, they were all there. This was just right before camp, and so she walked in, and there was about 50 some people there to help us celebrate with one another. But it was a really cool moment.
Super cool.
That's really cool, man.
Yeah. Not bad.
He's
That's
a romantic,
special.
big dog.
Nah, yeah. That's Clark Kent right there. You didn't know that?
It is.
Yes, sir.
Throw the glasses on and turn into Clark Kent.
Is that what you guys call him?
Yeah, man. You see him? Look at him, little model. That's my guy.
In terms of you guys getting ready for this season, we don't have to focus on just Tennessee, but how high can this team go to, big dog?
Well, I think we can go as far as we want to take it, man. Just like I explained at the very beginning, as long as we manage our expectations and our emotions and not get too high or too low. I mean, I think we have everything it takes, from not just the talent, but the leadership. Like, this is truly going to be a player-led team. And at the end of the day, the coaches can't play for you. And I think every single day, those guys in the leadership group are starting to take more and more accountability. And the coaches are hearing us out. And we're shaping this thing to be something great. And yeah, man, it's hard to talk too much about it because I don't want to jinx it, but I feel like we have everything it takes to be where we want to be come January.
Cole?
Yeah, I mean, kind of going off what Big Dog said, I think, and what I was saying earlier, you just look at the talent across the board, and we got everything we need in the building. So I thought we had a great offseason starting back in April when guys were coming back and kind of putting this thing together with the new offense, and obviously having Caleb as a new quarterback, and some of the new rookies that we added as well, and getting the 2 extra weeks of camp, made it seem like a forever camp. But I do think we'll benefit from those reps as the season goes on. So it's going to be important, though, for guys to kind of remain even keel throughout the season. There's going to be ups and downs throughout this thing. There's going to be adversity that we face, and you may hit a 3-game skid here, and like that could happen, or you're winning games, but you're not winning them how you should be winning them. And, it's not looking right. And you got to be able to make those corrections, even though that you're coming off a win, it's just things like that. And you just got to make sure that you're improving week in and week out. So, the ultimate goal here is to win the Super Bowl. We're not here to make playoffs. Like, that's not a goal. Like, and I'm sure there's people on the outside that may clarify that as a successful season. I call BS on that. A successful season is winning the Super Bowl. That's it. And there's 32 teams in the NFL. And this isn't, I make this example all the time. This isn't college sports where there's, 4 or 5 powerhouse college football programs that are really competing for this title every year. There's 32 NFL teams, and there's 32 teams that pay these players and pay these coaches a lot of money. And there's expectations to go win the Super Bowl. So in my head, that's always the standard set, and that's always the thing that we're going after, is to win the Super Bowl. And unfortunately, in our business, at the end of the year, if you don't win the Super Bowl, it's not good enough, and that's just what it is. So that's the goal here. That's what we're aiming for. I think we have the guys in the room to do it. Now it's going to be a year-long process going through January, getting into the playoffs and making a run in that regard, but. Like I said, we got all the pieces, and we just need to continue to get better each and every week and keep our head down and keep working at it.
Agreed.
Big Dog, Cole's a huge Cubs fan. I broadcast for the Cubs for 25 years, and in 2016, I went up to Anthony Rizzo, and they were rolling. They got off to like a 25-6 start. They're rolling. And I said, wow, it's going to be a hell of a season. He goes, dude, if we don't get a ring, we failed. That's all it is. He said, you got the ring or you didn't, period.
Yeah, I mean, that's how it is in a high production based business, man. It's either, look, just show me the baby, okay? I don't want to hear about the labor. Did you win the championship or not? If not, then you're just like everybody else. Like,
well, I think you look back at Cap, this just from and myself from being in the area, but they still talk about the '85 team.
Yeah,
and unfortunately, the '06 team it'll filter out some, and we talk about it in a good light because it's somewhat recent, but it won't get remembered forever. And it's because you didn't win the championship, you didn't win the Super Bowl. And in a sense, we all get into this, and in a sense, you're chasing a sort of immortality with it. And the more you win, the more immortal you get, and the more your name lives on forever. And in a weird way, that's kind of what we're all chasing. Is a form of immortality, sure. As human beings, just in general, you're trying to live as long as you can live. And in that way, the more you win and the more great things you do, the more championships you have under your belt, the more that you're remembered forever. So, there's a reason when you talk about legends of the game, they're going to be talking about Tom Brady forever because he won Super Bowls. You talk about, like the Terry Bradshaws and all those types of guys like get remembered forever because of the championships, not because of a playoff run they made.
Hey, we're going to let you go, but I'm going to leave you with this note because I just looked it up. You're 13-1 first touchdown on Sunday, Cole. And guess what you are, Marcedes?
100-1.
90-1 what he was.
I love that. That's awesome.
Pretty good.
That's awesome. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for having me on. Big Dog, anything you ever need.
Appreciate you, man.
This is cool stuff. I love seeing players doing these.
Where can people catch you?
Yeah, so I got my deal. It's called the 85. You can check it out on YouTube, Spotify, all your podcast channels. So hit me there. I just had Marcedes on. We just aired that interview that we did a couple weeks ago that just aired just recently. So go check that out. But again, super cool. Thanks for having me on. It's cool to see players doing things like this. I think it's a great way to engage with the fan base, and I know people are excited about the season. So I appreciate you guys.
All right, good luck on Sunday. Bear down.
All right, guys, appreciate you.
Thank you, bro.
What a good dude, man.
It's my guy, man.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, I mean, coming back here, like if he wasn't here, oh no, it'd be tough. It'd be tough for me. You know what I mean?
Be a jet.
Yeah, I mean, me and Cole connect in a way that just are very organic and different, and I didn't expect it. Right? Sometimes the best things happen when you don't expect it, and like. Correct. It's not just with the age difference, but just me coming from the Packers and then being on the Bears and then trying to feel my way through and figure out just the different personalities. And him and I just kind of like we're locked in, and it's been a pleasure to help him continue on his ascension.
All right, let's run our last thing, the 2-minute drill. You ready?
Let's go.
Okay, the 2-minute drill with Marcedes Lewis here on his show, The Big Dog Show. Favorite stadium to play in?
Favorite stadium to play in? Wembley Stadium in London.
Really?
I had my one and only 3-touchdown game against Baltimore in 2017.
Oh, wow. I would never have guessed that.
Hey, never know. It was special out there.
I love London. I visited. It's awesome.
Yeah, no, it's special. Just the fan base. I mean, all of the fans are wearing every team jersey. Like it's no one team. It's just like we love the NFL,
right.
And this is what it is. And you get there, and that's exactly how it feels. It's just imagine going to a concert.
Yep.
That's how it felt. And like, you know how it is, man. Like I love that. Like we get down there, we're warming up, everybody just screaming. It's a timeout. Everybody's still screaming, going wild. It was just a really good experience. I'm looking forward to going back this year.
All right. Your favorite type of vacation?
My favorite type of vacation, I'm a tropical guy. So send me somewhere with an ocean and some trees and a nice breeze.
Right here.
That's my thing.
Yeah, I don't get I'm going skiing, and I mean the snow type. No shit.
Nah, I'm good, man. Give me 78 degrees with a breeze, with a nice little Cadillac margarita. I'm good to go. I like
it a little warmer than 78. Give me like 87 to 92. That's my sweet spot. When you walk into the hotel on a road trip, first TV channel you turn on?
ESPN.
Very good.
It's actually ESPN Plus because normally it's UFC fights going on, and so I got to catch all my UFC fights. So I literally, I'm literally on the phone watching the prelims, and then once we land where we're going, I go to the room and I do all of my connections, and I'm watching my fights. So I say ESPN Plus. Okay,
so we've got a UFC fight night this weekend. A buddy of mine just texted me his picks. Will you watch it the night before?
I am.
So he told me to bet. He goes, pick Natalia Silva via decision. Okay. Steve Garcia. Who are the big ones this weekend?
Gilbert Burns and Sean Brady.
Gilbert Burns and Sean Brady. He's got Gilbert Burns. That's his pick.
So I'm a big fan of Gilbert Burns. A scrapper, very good on the ground, black belt, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Power in both hands. And then Sean Brady is more of a grappler. very good on the ground, strong wrestler.
Wow.
Styles make fights, so I'm looking forward to it and see what happens.
We've got to get your guy Dana White on the show.
I'm gonna talk to him. Get him on.
He's a stud. I love that.
Yeah, no, he's the best.
Yeah, he's great. All right, the last one. You can only listen to one song to get hyped before kickoff. What song?
Phil Collins.
In the Air Tonight?
In the Air Tonight.
There you go. I love that song.
Yeah, no, that is one of those that's always stuck with me, and it always will. Like I'll have my playlist, I'll listen to my different songs, and then like I'll make sure that that's the last one before it's time to go on the field.
Just 2 days ago, it popped up on my IG feed, Phil Collins, where he's sitting there at a concert with his feet hanging over. I don't know if you've seen that video.
I haven't, no.
Oh, I'm going to send it to you. And
Okay.
He's playing In the Air Tonight, and then he gets up calmly, sits down, and then boom, and he's playing the drum. I'm going to send it to you for Sunday. Yeah. It is spectacular.
Appreciate that.
Big Dog, I'll see you next week. I look forward to this all season long. You are the man.
Nah, you are, man. I appreciate you. Let's make magic, man. Thank you.
You too. All the best. There he is. It's the Big Dog Show with Marcedes Lewis. I'm David Kaplan. Thank you to Cole Kmet. It's brought to you by ChevyDriveChicago.com and Lincoln Law.
I seen them. All of those times getting severed. I told them all I get let up. They ain't not taught to me never.